there, YouTube? I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to check out Century Spice Road from Plan B Games. This is for 2 to 5 players. Age is 8+. It'll take about 30 to 45 minutes to play. And Century Spice Road is the new game from Emerson Matsuki. It's one of my favorite game designers out there right now. This is a game that a lot of people have been calling Splendor Plus. You're going to be acquiring gems, upgrading gems, turning those gems in to get various different cards, which will get you victory points. It's very light, it's very simple, but is it good? It's got a lot of buzz. Does it live up to that buzz? Let's open it up and I'll tell you what I think. Alright, then we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Century Spice Road. I do want to mention I have the Golem edition, but it's the exact same game as Century Spice Road, just with slightly different artwork. So first and foremost, you're going to get a handy dandy rule pad. It's 1 page. It's very clear, very concise. Should have it running in no time at all. It's also an immensely easy game to teach, so I can teach you how to play right now. So in Century Spice Road, you're going to try to get the most points by acquiring these cards on the top row up here. You're going to acquire these cards by acquiring these 4 different colors of gems up here. Pink being the best, yellow being the worst. So you're going to be slowly upgrading from yellow to green to blue to pink in order to acquire these cards up here, which will give you victory points. First person to get 5 or 6 of these cards, depending on what your player count is going to trigger the end of the game. You'll finish out the round. Whoever has the most points will be the winner. But let's talk about how the game is played and the components. So first and foremost, we have these cards, which are going to give you victory points. They're pretty self-explanatory. In order to acquire this card, it's going to cost you 4 green gems. It's going to get you 8 points. Now, also, you'll notice that there's 2 stacks of coins up here, and that's the position that you want them to be, because as cards slide down to over here, they're going to score you slightly more points. So, for instance, if you completed this 14-point card, you also would get this really nice metal brown chip, which is going to be worth 3, or, yeah, I guess it's a chip, which will be worth 3 points at the end of the game, and this one is worth 1, and, oh yeah, listen to that. Love those, love those. So, yeah. You're going to get more points if you purchase these ones. Now down here, you're going to have cards that you will be able to acquire, and these cards will give you special abilities that only you will have. No one else will have these special abilities. You're also going to start off with 2 special ability cards. Everyone will have the same 2 cards. I'll go over what these cards do a little bit later. I also will go over how you purchase these cards, but if you're familiar with Small World, it will be very familiar. Last but not least, you're going to have your little spot down here, which is going to be where you're going to store your gems, and you'll start the game with X amount of gems depending on what the player count is. So I'm the first player, which means I have this little gem icon right here, and we're going to go over the 4 basic actions in the game, because there's really only 4 things you can do in this game. So let's start off with action number 1, which is that you can acquire one of these cards up top here. So let's say, you know, it's later in the game. These are the gems I have down here. I want to acquire this, so on my turn, I'll take my 1 action, and my 1 action will be to spend 2 yellow gems and 2 green gems, and I now have this card in front of me. It's worth 6 victory points, and that's my entire turn. So I flip over another one of these. It's worth 20 points. That's a big one. But as you can see, on your turn, you're only going to take 1 action. So that's action number 1. The second action you can do is that you can use the cards in your hand. So the cards will do various different things, and I'll show you what most of them do, but most of them are very self-explanatory. So for instance, this card, if I played this card down, will allow me to acquire 2 yellow gems. So bada boom, just like that, I acquired 2 yellow gems, and my turn is over. Let's see if I can find another example here. So if I played this card right here, I would acquire 2 green gems, and then my turn would be over, and I put the card down in front of me. Now, once you use a card, the card is not out of the game. I'll show you a little bit more about that later, but you're going to want to put it down here. So you really want to be able to keep track of what's in your hand and what's on the table. This one is one that you also start with, which will allow you to upgrade 2 gems. So how this works is, I could turn 2 of these yellow gems into green gems, or I could turn this yellow gem into a green gem, and then I could do it once again to turn it into a blue gem, like so. So, actions. Let's refresh it. You can purchase one of these. You can use a card out of your hand. Another action you can do is you can pick up all the cards that you have laid down. So for instance, let's just say there's no cards in my hand, or there's a really useless card in my hand, like this card, which lets me turn a pink gem into a blue, green, and yellow gem. If that's the case, what I want to do on my turn is I want to pick up my cards. So I just say I'm picking up my cards, and that's my entire turn. So those are 3 of the 4 actions. Last action you can take is you can take one of the cards out here in the buy row. You start on this side right here. If you'd like this card, it's absolutely free. You just pick it up. Hooray for you. All these cards slide down like so. However, let's say you don't want that card. Let's say you're really going on a plan on a green strategy, green to yellow. Well, if that's the case, then you have to put a gem on each card that you don't purchase. So for instance, I'll put a card in one here, I'll put one here, and now I will pick that one and put it straight up into my hand. I'll slide everything down, and now as you can see, these cards right here have a little bit of extra incentive on them because they already have gems on there. And depending on what's over here, you might have 2, 3, I once saw 4 gems on one of these cards. You don't have to spend yellow gems. You can spend any color you want, but you're probably going to want to spend the yellows because obviously putting a blue down here doesn't make much sense because it's a lot of work to do that. Anywho, you're going to continue to take those 4 actions. Purchasing these cards, playing cards out of your hand, or picking up all your cards from the table until someone has acquired 5 or 6 of these cards up here, at which point you will finish out the round. Whoever has the most victory points will be the winner of the game, and that, in a nutshell, is how you're going to play Century Spice Road. Alright then, Century Spice Road from Plan B Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. It's very light, and it's very simple, which is going to be a turn-off to a lot of people. You're only going to have 4 actions you'll be able to take in the entire game, and for the most part, which action you should take is going to be pretty obvious. Now, which card you purchase, that's completely different, because a lot of the cards will do various different things, and there is some really cool strategy to those cards, and whether or not you want to take a card just because it has gems on it, even though it might not be the best card for you, and that's a lot of fun. But still, it's a very light, simple game, which will be a turn-off to some people. Also, the theme is completely transparent. There is no theme in this game. You know, some people compare this game to Splendor. I will agree that Splendor has no theme, this has no theme. You're getting gems, you're upgrading gems. Why are you doing it? So you can purchase golems or spice or whatever, I guess, in the regular version of the game. I don't know. No theme whatsoever, which will be a turnoff to some people. Another con that I have with this game is the fact that I think it's definitely going to be one game that a lot of people hate for how slow the pace of the game is. This game moves at an absolute snail's pace. Oh, I'm upgrading 2 gems. Oh, I'm getting 2 yellow gems. Oh, I'm picking up my cards. Oh, I'm acquiring this card. Oh, now I'm going to upgrade this 2 gems. Oh, this is going to let me turn a blue gem into 2 yellows and a green gem. It just feels like every move you do is just so incredibly tiny, and you're just inching closer, not to the finish line, but just inching closer to acquiring those cards in the buy row, the ones that give you victory points, and some people are definitely not going to like that. There's also a good deal of luck in this game, you know, and I want you to take that with a grain of salt, but there's definitely some luck elements to this game. For instance, if you're the first player and the card that just gives you a pink gem is the first card there, you are going to take it every single time because that's probably the best card in the game. That and maybe the one that lets you upgrade 3 times. But there are some cards in this game that are just 110% better than other cards. I mean, there's no arguing it. Like a yellow, green versus a yellow, or something like that. So you need to know that there's a little bit of luck in this game. Here are the cons I have with the game. No, moving on to the pros, I really enjoy Century Spice Road, and I will continue on the buzz train. Choo, choo, choo. This is a really fun game. I really enjoy it, and I'm going to keep it for a very long time. And I do think that there is room on your shelf for 2 themeless games like Splendor and like this. I'm going to keep both. So what do I like this game? First and foremost, I liked it at all the different player counts. I really did. I liked it at 2, I liked it at 5, I liked it at each and every game in between. Yeah, I played it at all the different player counts. I liked it at each of the player counts. I also like how simple the game is while still offering you some interesting choices along the way. That's really the key to a great family game to me, is that the decisions are easy to make in the game, but they're interesting decisions. Which cards do you want to get? Do you want to focus on getting yellows, or focus on upgrading to greens, or focus on blues? I like that aspect of the game. I also like that the pace of the game, you move forward at a snail's pace, inch by inch by inch by inch, clawing forward to get what you want. But I actually kind of like that. I kind of dug it because the game still goes by snappy because you only take 1 action on your turn, and most people are prepared for their actions on their turn. That's one more con I did have with this game I forgot to mention. You can have analysis paralysis in this game, especially if there's a couple good cards out here that you might be interested in, and you're crunching numbers in your head, and you're trying to figure out the turn that you're going to take in 2 or 3 turns, which will happen in this game. You'll be like, I'm going to do this turn, and I'm going to do this next turn, and then boom, on that 3rd turn, I'll be able to do this. yeah. But if you don't have that all planned out, there can definitely be some analysis paralysis in this game. But moving back on to the pros, component-wise, the components are fantastic. Now, the regular Century Spice Rose had little bowls to hold all these gems, and this one has these little plastic-looking things, which are really great. The box insert is very nicely done. It fits, and it actually looks good. You know, metal coins. Completely unnecessary, but incredibly fantastic metal coins, at least in this version of the game. You know, I like the fact that it's very easy to figure out who the first player is. The rules are very well done. The graphic design is easy to figure out what each card does. Like, once you know how the cards work, every single card is very self-explanatory, which is great. I mean, honestly, you need to look at 3 cards at the beginning of the game, and then you can figure out what every other card in the game does. So in the end, Century Spice Road, I absolutely stick and love this game. I do. I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. I brought it into my classroom. I played it with some 8 and 9-year-old girls, and I think there was a 10-year-old. They loved this game. I played this with my wife. She loved this game. I love this game. It's going to be one that's going to be on my shelf for a very long time. I'd love to get the playmat. I can't wait till they come out with expansions. Well, I don't know what they're going to do with expansions. Maybe add a 5th action. That'd be crazy. But in the end, Century Spice Road lives up to the buzz. I really enjoy this game. Very excited to play this game again and again and again and again and again. I think this is one that's going to get a lot of play on my shelf. I am, though, very interested to see which is going to get played more now that I have this, Splendor versus this. Now, I have Splendor with the expansion, which obviously is going to add a little bit more replayability, but I do definitely feel like they fit that same ilk. They're very easy to learn. They're very easy to teach. I call them both gateway games. So, yeah, I'll be very interested to see which one gets more play over the next couple of years. For right now, I'm still leaning towards Splendor, but that's with the expansion. But who knows? Maybe a really awesome expansion in the future for Century Spice Road could tip the scales. We'll figure that out in a couple of years. But if you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. If you had a golem, what would you do with your golem? So you have complete control over this golem. So I'm looking at this game and seeing what they're doing with the golem. Let's see. This guy, he's carrying cows. This guy's picking fruit. This guy's smushing grapes. I guess, yeah, they're using golems to be subservient. Yeah, I guess I'd do that. Oh, this one's great. He's using it to paint a barn. That's what I do. I would open up a painting service, and I would do 0 painting, because the golem would do all the painting, and then I would get all the money. And so, yes, that's what I do. I'd open up a golem painting service. Bauer and golem painting. I'm not very creative. Let me know in the comments below. What would you do with the golem? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.